You know what time it is.
Boom shakalaka! Yay! But Chaveevah, we got a room full of people.
I know. We got to do that over.
We do because evidently, you know what? Okay, we'll talk. I'm gonna talk about them really bad later, but right now we're gonna tell them right now. So on 3, everybody, when he says, "You know what time it is," everybody has to say "boom shakalaka" really loud in your outdoor voice, okay? And then we want applause. Otherwise, what good is a studio audience? Seriously, you ready?
Okay.
Okay.
You know what time it is.
Boom shakalaka!
Boom we needed to bring our
we
co-host
did.
on in.
I know. We woke him up.
I'm not coming out till I hear the boom shot.
Oh my
goodness! You know what? It's been a couple weeks, couple times I've been on here. I need theme music.
Oh, we had some theme music, and the boom shakalaka was your theme music.
Yeah.
And can you believe Chaveevah was pouring wine and she forgot to pour yours?
Oh my God!
Ain't that awful?
Oh my.
Ain't that just awful?
See how they do it, brother? On the north end.
Anyway, don't even start. We got so much to talk about today. It is Friday, Mayor.
It is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You too. You too as well.
You've made it.
Absolutely. At least till now.
All right. And before we get rolling, we want to absolutely start out and say thank you and welcome to Rocki and Chaveevah Live. You know, there's always something good happening on the north end.
Of course, and everywhere in the Cedar Valley.
Absolutely.
And you know that.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the news, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Chaveevah,
Hey,
tell him.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Did you hear about the fast food meal served to the Clemson players when they went to the White House?
Oh my God! Yeah.
They got served McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King, right?
Oh, all
Right.
3 of you. Yeah.
Right.
You can do that anytime, though.
I know, right? I know.
Okay.
And then did you also hear about Stephen King getting censored for his racially motivated comments?
Yes, I heard about that. I mean, there's so much bad stuff. And what about the government shutdown?
I know, right?
Wow. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But guess what?
What?
We ain't finna talk about that.
No.
We're going to talk about good things happening
right.
right here in the Cedar Valley, right here in the north end of Waterloo, and all over the Cedar Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Dr. Gloria Kirkland Holmes today as a guest.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's.
A bright star in this community.
Let's say
The
Dr.
one
Gloria.
and only, yes. I told her she broke our internet. You know, sometimes we'll put and you do it all the time.
Wow.
People love you too. What about me? No. No, but Doctor, we put her picture up and oh my goodness, that people just had rave reviews. She's such a popular, bright, shining star in
Absolutely.
our community. Since the 70s she's been
Okay,
around.
okay.
So yeah, we have her on our show, and we also have 2 students of the
That's
month.
right.
All
We
right.
do have 2 of our students of the month. We have. Shall we introduce them now?
No, I think, do we introduce them now? Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's up to you, Mayor.
I was going to say but I'm just here along for the ride right
Okay. No, you know what, though? We really have to talk to the mayor. We have to talk to him. We need to talk to you for a second first. We got time. We
Okay,
got to
okay.
slow it
now.
down.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, how have you been?
I've been great.
Mark,
kids,
can you have some wine? Would
kids,
you mind getting a glass? Okay.
kids, family. Well, make mine cranberry juice.
Okay.
Make it look like wine.
Okay, sure.
Just kids, families, a busy time with sports and activities and homework. So it's really good. City has just had a very great report. Our overall taxable values are up within the city, so that shows people are investing in Waterloo, businesses, fixing up houses. So we had a lot of tremendous things taking place right now. So I'm absolutely happy to be your mayor. So I thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes. And we are
Thank
so
you. Yes.
happy to have you as our mayor as well. And you say homework and stuff like that. Do your family, are you one of those tech savvy family? Do you let your kids play Fortnite, and do they get online with the video games and all that stuff?
You know what's interesting? I just took that game. I took the game about a week or so. The lack of engagement.
Took
You know,
away
and
from
they get
them?
an attitude when you take
Oh.
it, like, get upstairs. Okay, so I kept saying I'm going to take it, so I just grabbed it, and put it in a backpack, and told them I was selling it.
Oh, no.
Were they being naughty or just doing it too much? Do you have
Just
limits?
doing it too much, so,
Yeah.
you know, just like a real parent situation, you know, the first semester did absolutely good on their grades, so I'm like, okay, well, you can play as long as you keep the grades up. And
Right.
then things started to dip, and they were preoccupied. The room wasn't getting clean, so I'm like, okay,
Parenthood.
enough is enough. Give me that game, and I took it.
Parenthood has its different levels of challenge because I'm just not, I mean, I don't have anybody around that's a Fortnite addict, but I keep hearing about it. and-
Right, me too.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, I wonder how your household handles all that.
Yeah,
And
I took it. I
Did you?
took it.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
took.
I told them I was selling it.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And they haven't asked for the proceeds
They thought I was
yet?
playing.
They ain't got their money back
They
yet?
ain't got
for-
that game back yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we got a chance to see you on the Steel Report.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
This past weekend.
it's not this show, but I agreed to do it
Okay.
anyway.
Oh, okay.
And this
Right.
show isn't your show, which we haven't been invited to yet, but okay.
Right. But
Okay.
yeah, just had an opportunity to talk about the city, talk about some challenges, talk about the great things that are happening. So it was a good opportunity for the new year to talk about where we're headed.
Okay.
That's great.
Talking about a lot of homes and things being updated and remodeled and stuff. You see our backdrop. One thing from our show is from a North End perspective. And do you know where this is, by chance?
Yeah. I see the railroad track, so
Mm-hmm.
it's near the railroad.
You're so right. It's a North End perspective, actually. This is on 118 Shillum, which was owned by my great-grandfather.
Okay.
And that house, of course, is condemned, you know, it's right over there, you know, Shillum and all those.
Yeah.
So, what, are there any plans to do any infrastructure around Shillum Street or on the North End at all? So in Smoky Row, I guess is what we'll call it.
So right now we're doing a study of Smoky Road to try to take a look at the historical significance, see if there's still historical significance, because we've torn a lot of houses down and not necessarily renovated all of them. So we're always looking for entrepreneurs, anyone that wants to come in. We have a program right now where if it's a house that we had to take from someone because it was in a dilapidated condition, you put down $5,000 earnest money to bid on it. If you get the bid, if you fix it up to a certain standard, we give you the $5,000 back. Then we'll turn around and give you $5,000 for the investment that you put into that house, because
Wow.
we want to fix it up. And so we're working on a number of things, from the Walnut Corridor. We got to create a program we're trying to do with public-private partnerships in the neighborhood. And if that continues to work, then that's something that we'll be able to do in other parts of our community. So we're trying to be creative in the way that we address those problems and situations.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
am so glad I asked. Did you hear that, Travis? All you investors out there.
Come talk to me, Travis.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Okay, well, I think that we need to get those ambitious students up here, as nervous as they are. We're gonna, maybe we should, let's go ahead and do that. Chaveevah, will you do the honors?
Yes, we'd like to invite Jacoby Stolfus from Expo and also Omarion Grant from East High.
All right.
You can
Yes.
join us right now.
Yes.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you all.
You too.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome, and thank you all for showing up, and thank you for doing what you do. You know,
Yes.
Y'all nervous?
Yeah.
You should be. I mean, next to these two.
And he's from East Side, right? And you
Yes.
got West, okay. Well, this one is for you, and this is from Travis Ferguson Real Estate, and it's a $50 gift card. You can spend however you want.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Don't spend it on Fortnite.
Okay.
You pay
I
Fortnite?
don't play game.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he builds
that.
games.
Way
He builds
different.
games
There you
that
go.
people play.
Yeah.
But do you play?
No, I don't play no game.
No,
Okay.
Fortnite.
Well, congratulations to both of you. And I think I'll start with you. How did you get to be Student of the Month? What kind of things do you think that you exhibited to get this acknowledgement?
I got 14 credits this semester,
Okay.
and I've been through a lot, so I just kind of want to switch things around and take the right step forward. For sure.
I think I heard your mother say that you had received some sort of a turnaround award, that you have, that you're on the right track. I mean, that's always just a wonderful thing to hear. And
Yeah.
so,
Thank you.
it's great.
Yes, and no, I just want to say, at your age, there's a lot of different obstacles, that can be, that can seem like they're, that you can't overcome them, but you can, and obviously you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
And then one of the things that I always try to get across to younger folks is to understand how much value that you have. Oftentimes we hear about you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, and then sometimes we can start exemplifying those things, but understanding that you have value, that you were put here for a purpose. Your purpose may not be the same as his, but your purpose is important and you have value. And then when you understand you have value, then you start to treat yourself a little bit. You start to see things a little bit different. And you start to understand that you're put here to do something amazing, man. And I'm gonna tell you, you go around to like people that are in my position or like these ladies, and they'll tell you about some of the same stories. So you keep on doing what you're doing, man, and keep on striving for the best you can absolutely be.
That's right. And Omarion, tell us, you just look smart. I mean, you look smart too. But is it because of your academics? Are you doing well?
Yes, I'm doing very well. Cause like last year, I wasn't on top of my A game. I wasn't doing my best. But it's time, like I felt like it's time for me to grow up, start like doing a little better in school. So this year, I had to change my ways and everything.
And you applied yourself, like they always say, you need to apply yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
What grade are you
I'm a sophomore.
at? Sophomore?
Yes.
Okay.
Onward and upward. That was one of the things that they said about you, that you were really like on task and about your business. And so it's always just, like I said, a great thing to hear about young people in school. I mean, right now it's what you do, it's your life. But then when you look back and see the effort and everything that you put, how much further ahead that puts you.
So what future aspirations? Yeah.
I want to go. You want to go?
Oh, you can go first.
I want to go to Iowa State.
Oh
For
my
instance.
goodness,
Okay.
Travis will be glad to hear that. He's a Iowa State graduate as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my last credit probably like early February, and then I'll go to barber school.
Okay, good. All right.
Awesome, yeah,
Yeah,
I can
goals,
see, that's a
man.
pretty nice
Yeah.
fade you got
Yeah. Yes,
there.
ma'am.
Looking good, fellas.
All right.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming today and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
bet.
Thank you.
You bet, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
He wants a handshake.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Okay, I have one more thing to say to you, Mayor. I don't know if you know Don Griggs. He is a Waterloo resident, born and raised, and anyway, he's in the bow tie business. He's in the necktie. You know who he is? He provided ties for Johnny Cochran during the OJ trial. Anyway, he's sending a package to you.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, because he heard
Really?
that you liked bow ties, and I
Okay,
was
okay.
looking for the mailman before I got here.
Okay,
So
okay.
Don Griggs, they're called Designs by
Really?
Don, and you can
Okay.
go there, designsbydon.com,
Okay.
and check it out.
All right.
But he's got your own personal package.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
One more, we gotta do some shout outs real quick, Chaveevah.
That's right. As always, we have to shout out our
Oh, and I
crew.
gotta send him a couple $, because I can't take anything over
Oh.
$2.99.
Oh,
So we'll
thank
send
you.
something back.
Okay.
For the record.
For the record, right, yeah, you gotta have that.
Yeah. I was just saying, we got to shout out our crew always.
Oh, our
Mark,
crew, yes.
Ed, Zion, thank you so much, because what you do helps us look good up here.
Oh,
Like we got a little bit of sense, right?
Right. Okay. And Zion's not here today.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Zion who's playing his instrument for the jazz band.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes. And who else we got to shout out? Oh, Rochelle Chase.
Yes,
She's
yes,
watching
yes.
today for the first time, and she's the author of Creating a Lost Utopia in Buxton, Iowa.
Okay.
And I think that she will be on our show.
Oh, wow.
That would be great, yes, to
Coming
talk
up.
about
Okay.
that. There's a lot of people here in Waterloo that have connections to Buxton, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, lots and lots. You hear more all the time. All right. Well, I think we've made the lady in waiting wait long enough. And we'd like to introduce Chaveevah. You do the best job of it. Tell all of her accolades. What does she do?
We're introducing right now Dr.
Yes,
Gloria
Gloria
Kirkland Holmes. Yes.
Yes.
She's an associate professor at University of Northern Iowa, and she's early childhood education coordinator. This lady wears many, many hats.
Yes.
She is an author. She is the director of the Shining Stars Girls Project. She's also the first lady of Mount Moriah Church.
Yes.
Um,
With the
Pastor.
wonder pastor.
Yes, Pastor Robert
Mr.
Holmes.
Holmes, yes. Pastor Reverend Holmes, yes. Well, congratulations for you.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Yes.
She has a son that has joined the greatest fraternity in the world.
Oh,
we
yes.
appreciate
Just
Omega
ask you,
Psi Phi.
right?
Right, Omega Sci-Fi.
Yes. Welcome, Dr.
Well,
Holmes.
thank you, thank you.
Yes, and thank you for coming on our show today.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
We just want to ask a little bit about how did you start out? I know you came here. We had her classmate that was on Facebook that said you're from
That's
South
right.
Carolina. Is that right?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Charleston.
Yeah.
And so did you see that post?
I saw one from a classmate from Fisk University, but
Yeah.
not from my home.
Right.
As it turns out, she's my cousin. I didn't know she was my cousin, but
Wow.
I met her on Facebook, and she just happened to reach out and say, "Oh, do you know Dr. Gloria?" And she said to be sure to greet you and
Yes.
to
Wow.
tell you to come to the reunion or something
For
that
Alpha
they're having.
Kappa Alpha sorority.
Yes. And so how long ago was that, and did that lead you here?
Well, growing up in Charleston, South Carolina, I went to school with many of my classmates who we keep in touch with each other. I grew up on the east side of Charleston. I went to an all-black elementary, an all-black high school, and then matriculated to Fisk University, which is one of the oldest historically black colleges and universities.
Yes.
And, I'm very proud to say that having teachers who understood us,
Mm-hmm.
and we grew up speaking like the Geechee Gullah language.
Oh, my goodness.
And as I look back, they all knew what we were saying. But when I left and went to college, that's when I first found out that we were speaking differently. Because I worked in the university library, and people would come in and say, "Are you from the Bahamas or Jamaica?"
Uh-oh.
And so I got tired of them asking me that, and I started saying either one, whichever one I wanted.
Just choose one.
But on the serious side, having teachers who understood us and knew our backgrounds, knew our culture, then they were able to teach us so much better than people who don't
Right.
understand us. So as I went to Fisk University, I majored in elementary early childhood because I grew up teaching the little children in our neighborhood.
Oh.
I was a young girl, and I'd just get all the little children and put them on our step.
And play school.
Yes, and play school. So when I went to school, that's what I wanted to be, a teacher.
Sure.
And so most of my teachers at Fisk University were also black. But one of my hardest professor, when I was going to graduate, he said, "You need to go to graduate school." And I'm like, "Oh no, I need to go make some money."
Okay.
But anyway, I went to Indiana State University, Terre Haute, Indiana, which was my first time attending a predominantly white institution. So I say to young people who are going away that we need to be prepared for the challenges that come. And to make this story a little shorter, as I was graduating with my doctorate degree, the person who was my doctoral dissertation person met a lady from Price Lab School in Washington, D.C., Miss Joanne Dewey, and she's still living. And my professor was the president of the National Association for the Education of Young Children. And when she met the person from Price Lab School, she said, I have a young lady who's graduating, would be excellent for your school. So the two of them connected, and so my dissertation advisor told me about Price Lab School.
Oh.
And for me to come for this interview, and I'm like, she must be crazy. Not going to Iowa.
Oh, Iowa
For
has a
no
bad reputation.
reason.
Yes.
And so anyway, my friends, they were all like, girl, go on that trip. Go on a free trip. And so, sure enough, I came here for my interview, and there was a little boy, Brian Bess, I'll never forget him.
Okay.
And when I was doing my interview, he said, oh, I love you. I never knew, I'd never seen a little boy before. He was 4 at Price Lab School. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this job.
Oh,
Okay.
how
So that's how I
That was a
ended up here.
sign.
How sweet.
Yeah.
You know, I know that is a great story. And what year was that?
1978.
1978. So you've been here for a minute.
Yes.
And I've kind of been acquainted with you through my grandmother, who was a parishioner at your church.
Right.
But you know, Mayor Hart kind of got everything mixed up on the show today. So what we usually do,
Oh,
so we're going to come
your
back.
fault
I
this
have
time.
a question. I have some cultural questions we want to ask you. But first of all, we got a big question that we ask every guest that comes on our show, right?
Yes, we do.
And we have to know if you subscribe to the Soul Town.
Yes.
Oh, so I read Soul Town, so I need to do something else, right?
Yes, you need to subscribe.
Okay.
Because this month's issue has 19, what is it?
That's
Shanique?
right. 19 people to watch in 2019. There are a number of local people that are in here, and there are also people from other places across the country. And this is both a print and a digital publication, and they have a really exciting new feature.
Did you see it
Yes,
today?
it's called Press Play. That you know, you could be looking at the magazine online, and there's a connection, for example, to this show,
Right.
and you just press play, and you can watch the Rocki and Chaveevah show.
Right.
Oh,
So the
okay.
whole show, so you have no excuse not to watch Rocki and Chaveevah.
right.
Yes, and so you can get your copy of The Soul Town at thesoultown.com, or Mayor Hart. You can do what else?
Earth's Beauty Supply, Tri-City Clothing, or you can contact Chillin directly at 319-505-4020.
I thought you knew that number. Very good.
I know, you
love
just
how you do
reminded,
that.
she texted me yesterday and I forgot to text her back, so
Oh.
maybe she ain't watching right now.
She's watching.
She watching.
You can count on it. She is watching. That's why I had to back up. And then we also sing. You like to sing, I know, because I hear you on your videos at church. So we have some birthday people we have to say hi to. So we want to say happy birthday to.
Mary Wilder, Dana Cody, my sister-in-law,
That's right.
Kel Ford, and Brad Himenover.
Yes, Chaveevah.
Okay, and we also want to say happy birthday to Monica Culpepper, Deborah Simpson, Michelle Hall, and Detonio Graves.
Also, Dontrell Burt, Hyphy.
Hyphy.
Yes, and he'll be a co-host soon. Lee Galloway. I won't say your nickname, Lee. And Besa Miller and
Basia.
Jody. Oh, Basia.
Basia.
Basia Miller and Jody Sherburne. Happy birthday to all of you. And we love to sing to you. So we like to sing the Stevie Wonder version, and it goes something like this. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. All right. Birthday people. Okay, and Chaveevah, Were you getting bored?
No, you
Keep
know, see
yawning.
what happened
What
was,
happened was,
I was, you know, my voice, anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
Did you have something you want to ask?
No. Yeah. So, Dr. Holmes, can you talk about, you know, we mentioned some of the things that you actually do, but was there something that we didn't mention about the many roles you play?
Oh, I think you highlighted most of it. One of the things I do, I don't do it as often as I used to, is I give second opinions, professional second opinions on children, mostly African American children. However, they could be any children because there are some children who are misdiagnosed, and those parents who stand up for their children and realize that it is not always the fault of the child, could be other issues going on in the classroom or with the teacher. And so Mr. Jimmy Porter, who was my first mentor when I moved here years ago, he and I would go around to the schools and meet with some of the school officials and go with the parents, especially if they said the child had a behavioral issue or the child was hyperactive and attention deficit. And we would say to the parents, do not sign anything until you have, gotten some help. And so we were, asking for people not to just put their children on
Yes,
Ritalin
because
and
there's so
medication.
many people on that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know there are a lot of cultural difference. I mean, everybody likes to say we're more alike than we are different, but there are cultural differences.
Yes.
And so I know that what was it, the disparity of African American children, some type of conference that you actually started.
Yes.
Talk about that.
It was 8 years ago, and Dr. Dwight Watson was the dean of the College of Education at the University of Northern Iowa. And I walked into his office one day, and I had this one-page proposal typed up, and I said, I have this idea. I would like to start a conference on African American children and families. And I gave him the little one-sheet proposal. And he looked at me and he said, go for it.
Oh,
So
they
it was
trusted
like,
you that
yes.
much.
So it was October when I went in there. And so he said, go for it, have it in February. So I had from October to February to get this conference going. And he said, I'm going to put up the money. And I was like, oh, my. And so now it's in its 8th year. It's the Conference on African American Children and Families. And he's no longer there. But, excuse me, we've been able to say to the university, this is a valuable conference. It needs to continue on. And so the leadership of the university has allowed this conference to go on and has provided the funds.
Well,
And
that
so
is
that's
so wonderful.
And when you mentioned from October to February, you have to understand that this isn't where you have one morning speaker and then you have a lunch and then you have one. This is an actual conference, and you also, of course, we can get people on the state and on a national level, but you also allow people to participate that live here right in the Cedar Valley to address Cedar Valley issues as well. So October to February, that's no easy task,
Right.
because the level of talent and people you have speaking is incredible.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you for inviting me. I think you were there
yes,
last year
absolutely.
as
Yeah,
well.
we've been part of the conference.
And our mayor does the, excuse me, welcome every year for the conference, and we're very grateful to him. Like people always say, you all have a wonderful mayor. Yes, that's why we want our mayor at the conference.
Oh, I know.
And the young people who are there, they're like, oh, look, there's the mayor. And like he's the big celebrity from California. And it's just awesome.
It
that,
is.
He's a role model in our community and supports everything.
Yes.
And supports everybody in our community.
And I feel the same way around the young people in this community, excited like that, because just so much potential that we have in our community, and anyone that's working to heal families, to bring families together, to help young people to be able to deal with the challenges, like the young man said a few minutes ago. This is what I was going through, and now I've been able to turn it around. But when you start to see that light, and you help bring light into people's lives, so that's something that we need to really honor and really be thankful for what you've brought to the Cedar Valley. So I want to say thank you personally.
Indeed.
And Dr. Gloria, would you like to talk about, our time is getting a little shorter, but I would love for you to talk about some upcoming events.
Yes, first of all, coming up February 21st is the African American Read-In, which is for first graders from Waterloo and Hudson, and we have close to 1,000 coming. And it takes a lot of work, a lot of organization for us to have all those activities for 1,000, almost 1,000 first graders. And so this is UNI's 13th year of having an African American Read-In, and so it's from 9:30 to 1:30. And so right now the Waterloo schools are getting ready, getting the transportation ready, and those students ready to come to the university.
And is there a website? Because, what's the website for that, for the read-in, and also?
Yes, if you go to www.vvictorypaul.uni.edu/AAC.
You put that backslash on there, I'm like, I'm gone.
Right.
Or if you just type in Conference on African American Children and Families, then it will come up, and then the read-in and all of those activities.
Events will come up too.
Right. And we'll be sure to put a link on our page so that people can just go right to it and be able to access that.
Yes, watch your inbox. You know, we communicate. And before I know, our time is up. And I don't know if we had any comments.
A few.
A few, just saying hi. We want to talk to you real quickly and about the whole thing about the worst place for Black people to live. I know you can't sum it up, but we just want to say that we've been listening, and I know that Ron Steele is doing a special in February for Black History Month. But for the record, we want to talk about some American history in January quickly. Just give us a synopsis of what is that all about, and we think you're doing a great job for what you've been left to do. So what is your take on that? The report.
Well, the report it's in two sectors. The first sector is the data that was used, 2012 to 2016. They used that same data. On that same data several years ago, Des Moines was 9, Waterloo was 10. They used the same data. Now Waterloo's number 1. So that's the first one, talking about that. Second part is there is a significant difference. You know, there's disparity within the city of Waterloo. No one's debating that.
Right.
But I've just gotten to the point where the last 3 years since I've been in this position, I really can't do a whole lot more talking. Excuse me if that wasn't correct grammar. I just can't do a whole lot more talking anymore. I focus on the work. And so over the last several years, we've changed the unemployment rate. We've changed some of the disparity things. We've raised the median income levels for families here. We have worked with some of the criminal justice issues that were talked about in the report that was from 8 years ago. So we've taken some steps to address those things, but it didn't take a report to do that.
No,
These
we
are
can
things
all
that
see.
we've started, we've been doing. So we're moving in the right direction. We're trending in the right direction. So one thing that I want to tell folks that are listening that may not be here, you know, a lot of people have a lot of things to say, but I'm born and raised in the city of Waterloo.
Same here.
And I will fight for the city I live in. And if you got something you want to do to help, if you want to support King Center, if you want to support a KBBG, if you want to support the Cosby Center, if you want to support opportunities for young people, then go ahead and support. But the last thing that I'm going to do is turn my back on the community that I'm from. And those are the reasons I ran, and while I'll continue to be doing that to the day that I'm not here anymore. So I just thankful for the opportunity, but we got to work together and quit talking and make it happen.
That's right. All right. Well, I believe now now, I'm so glad I asked that question too, because we got you all,
That's
got
a whole
everybody
nother
fired
series
up.
right now.
Right, but we had to get that in. We only get you once a month, and we
Yeah.
have to ask we always like to have fun, but sometimes
Yeah.
we need to talk about some of things that are of interest to people,
But
and people are talking about.
I'm glad because there's folks here that are in the vineyard that are working hard, like all of yourselves here, like these young people
Thank
here
you.
that are working hard. And it doesn't identify those people in the article that are actually doing something.
That's right. Well, I think our hearts and minds are clear now. Can we get our two students to say goodbye? Come behind us right quick, and we'll
They
all.
stayed around for the
Yeah,
whole
you
show.
stuck
Yes,
around for the
yes,
show,
which
and
we
you
really
got your
appreciate.
moms and
Yeah.
everybody. Well, we want to encourage everybody out there. Mark's got to change the camera a little bit to get
Oh, there.
these tall
That's
guys.
right, we got some
in.
tall guys behind us.
Yeah,
Yes.
our students of the month, and thank you again to the Ferguson team, Travis Ferguson Real Estate, for those gift cards. And keep doing what makes you awesome, because
It makes us all look good.
All right, see you next time.